Hi and welcome back to Celebrity Goddess Oracle. So today we're going to have a look at Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel together as a couple. So as you know, I like to use the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards. I have done separate readings for both Justin and Jessica. So if you haven't watched those, then you might like to just look at my channel and actually watch those as well. But we're going to connect into them as a couple energy today. And, oh wow, okay, straight out of the compassion. So this is a card that came up in Jessica's reading, actually. So let's dive into this more deeply and see what else comes out. Okay. Okay. So we know that there's been a lot of sort of recent controversy around them in their relationship. So I covered that off in my previous videos. And so, oh wow, okay. Transformation. Okay, independence. Okay. They have a young couple, they have a young sort of a young child together. I covered off in Jessica's reading that there might be a potential for them to have another child, a desire there. So let's see what comes up in their joint reading. Fertility card. So yeah, and let's have one more card for compassion here. I'm going to do a slightly different read today because we're looking together, sorry, just one card. We're looking at them as a couple. So I might bring another deck into play actually for this. Just one more card for compassion, please. Okay. Sacred space. Perfect. Right. I'm going to use the Angel Oracle cards here. For this is the deck that I'm going to use. So let's just dive into this and see what comes up. Let's clarify this for this. So let's have okay, I'm flying out. Right. Cupid. Okay, lovely. Let's have an overarching energy card here. So just one card, please. Okay, and innocence. Okay, this kind of ties back in actually. So we'll just, what we'll do is we'll take this innocence card and we'll put it up here and we'll come back to it. And just one more card for this and then we can dive in. Okay. Okay. This is really very much connected to their home life actually. This is very much connected to their home life. And the bottom card is listen, okay, on this deck. Right, okay, there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of sort of, wow, there really is a lot of energy in this as I connect in. What's the right way of putting it? Let's call it an exchange back and forth. Let's put it that way. And there's this card here, energy work. Okay, so we touched on, in particular, it's very strong in Jessica's reading actually, that this connection with the family life and the family being at the center of things, and this sort of requirement for them to actually, for her actually in her reading to, you know, look at this compassion and to do this healing here. So, you know, this really just mirrors it as a couple's reading, to be fair. I mean, this is very much a reading focused on their family and emotional life together. It really actually doesn't touch, actually their work at all whatsoever. So I'm not sure what's going on in their work life, but we're going to just focus on what we see in front of us here today. So it's all connected, it's all one reading, so we'll just dive straight in and we will gosh, this energy is like, this is really emotional. This is such an emotional energy that I'm connecting into here. We're going to start here with this overarching card as innocence. And I'm going to read this one actually, because I think it's probably really quite relevant. Innocence. Everyone is guiltless in truth, as no one can alter God's handiwork of perfection. Give us your feelings of heaviness so we can lighten your load. Give us any guilt, anger or blame that may shroud your loving outlook. Enjoy the peace within your heart once more. And this is very true. The energy around them is sort of this one of holding on, and this one of, I'm not going to say outright blame, because I don't think it's just blame that's going on. I just feel it's like when we touched on Jessica's reading, it's this feeling of stuckness, you know, over and over again, broken record, just same cycle over and over and over again. And the truth is, in order to reach this transformation, and in order to sort of like, for this independence card, there's this real feeling that there needs to be this transformation as a couple, but that, you know, they need to retain their own selves in the process. I get this feeling in particular for Jessica that this is really important for her. It's fundamental for her actually. And I get this feeling that she feels really quite scared that she's going to be subsumed in her relationship, and this independence card came out for her reading, her separate reading as well. You know, let's just dive in here as well, and we'll kind of say how we're going to get to this. You know, once the healing is done here, once this transformation happens and the healing does come, right, then there is going to be, you know, like I've said in Jessica's reading, fertility card often is not to do with having children. It's often to do with, in connection with projects and successful projects and even relationships. But literally here, like I said in her reading, this is actually connected to them having another child. So all this work here, and we're going to come back to this, we're going to come to this in a minute, needs to happen before they can get to this point here, which is their joint desire to have another child. These are, as we saw in both readings, they're a true love match, the two of them. And this is sort of like, the situation that's going on at the moment is like noise, you know, and it's a manifestation of this sort of, this non-listening actually. You know, actually I just put this deck away, but I showed you the bottom of the deck. I'll just take it back out. Listening, right? The two of them really need to listen to each other. They really need to listen to each other. We'll just take this card out actually, because it's on the bottom of the deck. They need to listen to one another. They really need to listen, you know, and not just listen, but actually hear what each other has to say. I mean, these are matters of the heart. Look, we've got Cupid, we've got the heart chakra here. There's this real work that needs to be done. There needs to be space. There needs to be physical space and energetic space for them, for, you know, physical and energetic, so they can both tap into this, you know, inner wisdom. They need to take time, quiet time, to find this. And when they do this and they realize with compassion the things that have gone on, and what's at the heart of the matter, and that there is this great love. And when they do the work and they make space for it, then this transformation is going to come. The transformation is going to come, and things will change for them. But there's a lot of work to do here. You know, there is a lot of work to do here. There is a lot of requirement for listening. They really do need to listen to one another. And they really do need to realize that actually there is no blame. There is no blame here. That to sort of descend into sort of like this, to descend into anything that like amounts to blame is really just going to put them back into the same cycle. There's a lot of just compassion, forgiveness. It's not, forgiveness I always think sort of indicates right or wrong, but For me, I just don't. I think this is almost karmic actually with the two of them. This is like patterns. It's patterns that they're bringing from their own sort of their own inner souls, their own upbringing, their own previous experiences, and they're bringing it to their relationship to each other, and it's creating this sort of blockage. And you know, when they take this time, this quiet time to step back and they look at it, they look inside themselves and they connect with how they really feel in their heart, and they show each other this compassion, they do the work, then they're going to realize this. They're going to realize this. They're going to realize, actually, what have we been, where has this come from? You know, they're going to get this epiphany. There's going to be this transformation. Okay, there's going to be this healing, and then, you know, then the pathway will be clear for the next stage in their lives together as a family. That's really lovely. So we're going to dive in and have a look at the animal totem energy spirit as well, see what is connecting around them. I like to use the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck by Kim Kranz. Really lovely deck. So let's dive in and see. You know, as I'm doing this and as I'm finishing it off, I do get this real sense of, I'm going to say it, I get this real sense of sort of sadness actually. You know, there has been a lot of sadness around this. Okay. Strength, that's lovely. The lion. Oh, one more. Okay, we're gonna have two more. We're gonna go with it. Okay, shark and the starfish. So lion is patriarchal and matriarchal energy. It's the family. It's the strength together. You know, this is a couple that need to stand with each other together. They already do. They just need to you know, strengthen that tie. There needs to be patience with this situation. There needs to be patience, and as they show patience to each other, you know, through this period of quiet time and contemplation and working through with each other, then there is going to be this transformation for them. There really is. I get a feeling that there might be an energy around them that can help them with this, like an elder, somebody that has already perhaps, you know, gone through this, whether or not this represents counselling, official counselling, like formal counselling, or whether or not, you know, they can do that themselves. But the fox energy here is all about reconnection. Them actually taking the time that we talked about already to actually listen to each other. You know, that listening is really important, because as they listen and really hear each other, then they're going to be able to release this energy and reconnect in a really, you know, really beautiful way. There is danger here, you know, so there is danger here, you know, if they don't do this, you know, they really need, you know, speaking up and saying what you want is really important, because whatever has gone on really needs to be brought into the light. There needs to be honesty. There needs to be honesty with each other and with themselves about how they truly feel, and how they can actually move on together with that. You know, by not doing it, it creates this sort of destructiveness and this sort of split, this potential split between them and how they really feel. You know, interesting thing about starfish, if you actually split a starfish in half, it can actually, you know, rebuild the other half. So that's an interesting fact. You know, this is about a deep connection to the self. You know, who is it that I want to be? It goes back to this independence. You know, who is it that I want to be? How do I want to be perceived? You know, doing the inner work. So, you know, starfish can be a bit superficial. So this is about going beyond the superficial, about asking these hard questions, about, you know, being open and direct and connecting and getting either, you know, assistance with that with each other, or helping each other with that, or, you know, turning to the outside source. And as you're doing it, being strong and being strong. You know, this is also about, you know, this process is also about reticence, is about like this requirement to sort of, there's people pleasing. This is a people pleasing energy here. So there needs to be this stepping away from, I have to, this is what is expected of me, this is what I'm supposed to say. And, you know, that needs to be stripped away. It needs to be stripped away. There needs to be this frank, straightforward, shark energy, this energy of saying it, how I really feel, this is how I really feel. And then we're going to see this healing and this transformation. You know, there are challenges around the two of them as a couple. That's definitely true. They do share a true love connection. But, you know, love without the work is, you know, this work, this energy work, you know, it goes hand in hand. And that's the challenge for them here. That is the challenge for them here. The two of them really need to, you know, they really need to be vulnerable with each other, actually, and do that work and reconnect. And when they do that, then they're going to move forward as a couple. They're going to move forward as a couple. But this is not something that can just happen. This is something where you have to put the work in. You know, you do have to put the work in. It does require real vulnerability. It does require real compassion with each other. But, you know, the outcome of it, the potential outcome for them is really beautiful. So let's wish them all the best. You know, let's send them lots of love. If you'd like to like, share and subscribe to my channel, that would be amazing. I do personal readings. If that would be of any benefit to you, please reach out and connect. If you have a suggestion of who you'd like me to read, please leave a comment in the box below. In the meantime, I'm sending you lots of love. Please look after yourselves and please look after each other. And I'll see you the next time. Thanks. Bye.